compliment or an insult.
Galloping giraffe.
I'll take it as a compliment.
Go ahead and open up for questions for Phil Jurkovec.
I think that'll catch on, Phil.
Hey, maybe.
Phil, what's different about Pitt now versus when they maybe tried to recruit you in the past that made you want to come here?
I'm just very impressed by it all. The people, everybody around here. The facilities are top notch, and you know I'm like a suburban kid, almost out there in like the country in Pine, where I grew up. And the city, I love Pittsburgh. I love the city. It has everything you wanna or you would like. It has everything to offer to recruits. I think all the WPIAL kids should stay home, all come to Pitt. That's something that hasn't happened for a while, but I think having guys back, we would love for that to happen for everybody to stay home.
So what about the program?
It's success the last 2 years. There's a lot of hardworking people and winners on this team. They won obviously a couple years ago, and this past year they had success. 9 wins. That's not where they want to be, which I really like that attitude that they're not happy with 9 wins, but they still had a lot of success this past year.
Were you close to making Pitt either the first or second time before this time?
The second time was pretty clear that Boston College was going to be it, but the first time, yes, it was hard to leave home.
Phil, you're a quarterback Pitt fans have wanted since you were pretty much like in 8th grade. What's the reaction been like for you? You know, now that you're finally here and so many people were happy to see that announcement. What's that reaction been like for you and the reception been since you committed here?
It's meant a lot to me because Coach Narduzzi's given me this opportunity, but just talking to everybody, my family, everybody I grew up with around here who's helped me out back from high school, everybody's very excited. So I'm very fortunate and thankful to everybody that they still support me at Pitt, and you know I think that it's conducive to success here. You have everything that you need.
Phil, you talked about WPIAL kids staying home and playing at Pitt. What kind of example, maybe when you look at guys like Derek Donovan over there, what kind of an example do you want to set for fellow WPIAL kids to stay?
Yeah, just that you can do it at home. You can come here and win. And obviously the WPIAL doesn't have the talent that it used to have in the past. There's still a lot of talent, but it's not what it used to be. But I think it would be really cool if the guys in high school and younger, if they came together and wanted to stay home and make the culture here really strong.
How much of an attraction was Frank Cignetti being the OC here?
It was really big. I owe a lot of my success at Boston College to Coach Cignetti. He really knows how to coach quarterbacks. So I mean, I'm so happy to be back in that system, and the way that they train the quarterback is different.
How does he challenge you to become better?
He has high expectations, and he keeps it for the whole room. He's big on competition and speaking the same language. It's a little bit different now because I have a couple of years in this offense under my belt. So I guess the questions and everything, it's upper level, or we're trying to do it the best.
So you mentioned competition. Do you come in thinking like, hey, I'm the starter, or you come in, I've got to compete?
I'm coming in and competing. There's a lot of, the other quarterbacks, they're good players. So I have to go and compete and earn the position.
Phil, how excited are you to play the two teams you played for previously?
I'm excited. I have some friends, and I'm grateful for the experience. It was a lot of lessons, and I got better from it, but I'm excited to play those guys.
So you mentioned the way that they train quarterbacks is different in what way?
The specifics, the first few days, pretty much the whole first week with Coach Cignetti, it's all about footwork, and you don't get that at other places. We're watching Joe Montana tape from the 90s. We're watching like the history. It comes from Bill Walsh and his success with the 49ers, the West Coast offense, the way that they train it, the revolutions where the receivers are counting their steps. It's a little bit different, but I think it's a great system, and it's used in the NFL. Not everybody uses it, but it really helps for a quarterback to know exactly what you have to do.
I know it's a veteran in this quarterback room now with, Nate behind you, you got Ty coming in as a freshman, certainly Christian transferring in, how do you figure to be a leader in that room and to set an example for those guys behind you?
Yeah, just every day, like Donovan said, showing up to work. The best thing you can do is be about it and don't really talk about it. But I have experience. I've played on a team that went to the playoffs. I've been on some good teams, some bad teams, and I know the differences. So I want to bring that to those guys who don't know that yet.
What's the best thing about being home? You have a job to do, you're in school, you have a lot of work with the team, but what's the best thing about being able to do that all at home?
Just seeing, I guess, the Pittsburgh people. I love the Pittsburgh people. They're hardworking, but like there's a ton of pride in this city, like for football and for just the culture of Pittsburgh, and I love that. I've always loved that.
What was your high school coach's first reaction when you told him you were coming back to Pitt?
Coach Casper, yeah, he was pumped up. Same with Coach Ackerman, my old basketball coach. They're all pumped up, and that's what I think. Just everybody around the area supports Pittsburgh, all the teams, so they support Pitt.
Phil, if you look through the history, I mean, some of the most popular quarterbacks in program history are guys who grew up playing here. Marino, Palco, Rod Rutherford, just to name a few. What's it mean to you that your name, I mean, it's to be determined what you do on the field this fall, obviously, but just to be another local guy to potentially start a quarterback for the Panthers and to be in that type of conversation, what's that mean to you?
It means the world. Those guys are legends. Watching, growing up, hearing stories about them. The most heartbreaking game as Pitt that I can remember was the 45-44 Cincinnati game. When was that? What year was that?
2009.
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah, Marty Gilliard.
But watching those games, I mean, Pitt has had its ups and downs, but it is a lot of success. It has had a lot of success, and you go through the halls and see some of the players that have played here. It's so impressive. It just makes you want to work hard every day.
How close were you to coming to Pitt coming out of high school?
I was close. I really liked Pitt, and I've always loved Pittsburgh. So it was a hard decision to leave.
I know it's a different offensive system that he played under, but how much can you take away from watching Kenny Pickett and having so much success here, and obviously going next door? I mean, how much were you able to kind of see his game and see his growth here at this program?
Yeah, I really look forward to working with him and watching him. I want to learn from him, from his experience, what he did, because he got a lot better at Pitt, and especially his final year. And so, yeah, I mean, it's so great that you can be in this facility and you can watch the Steelers and how they do it. I think it's a huge advantage. It might be portrayed as like a disadvantage at times, maybe in the media or what you hear growing up, like, oh, Pitt has to share that with the Steelers, but it's not like that. I mean, I think it's a huge advantage for us that we get to learn from these NFL guys.
Did you hear that in high school? Like, did other schools tell you, like, oh, they have to share their facility?
Yeah, I feel like that was like a knock on Pitt,
Okay.
but it shouldn't be.
I'm sorry, Phil, did you get evaluated in terms of the next level? I mean, did you get a sense of sort of where you're at and what maybe kind of the areas of improvement that you might need to focus on if you want to next spring be able to, play professionally?
Yeah, basically this past year was bad. We didn't win, and the NFL got back to me and told me that I didn't have a good shot at getting drafted, so I needed to come back to school.
Phil, what has been your chance to get kind of aligned and get used to some of your new offensive playmakers that you're going to be working with, like Gavin Bart following you, Rodney Hammond? What has been your early impressions of getting to know those guys and what you guys will do?
I love just how fired up they are to get to work. Like Bob and Kay, they always want to throw. They never get tired. It's every day. They're fired up to do that, and so that's great for me because I'll throw routes to them all day, as much as they much as they want to work.
Sorry, 10 years ago, players didn't really have the option of transferring multiple times. You've done it twice now. How important is this for, college students or, college athletes that might not have a good fit somewhere else to be able to transfer and be able to make their kind of own decisions?
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, coaches have always been able to transfer schools whenever, so I think it makes it a little bit more fair for the collegiate players to be able to transfer. But I also think that you give a commitment to a school, you should really try to stick it out there. You should, it shouldn't turn into free agency. I wouldn't want to see that where guys are flipping every single year. I would like it to be with commitments that people are going to hold each other to that.
Phil, after a big win, are you going to turn it back to the high school days? We're going to see you plant the flag in
Nope,
midfield?
no doing that.
Okay, no more.
Learn my lesson there.
That first time coming out of the tunnel at Acashore, what's the feeling when you're like compounding?
I wish it was Hines still. Maybe. Nah,
I most said Hines.
No, Acashore, yeah, I'm fired up. I just on my visit, Coach Narduzzi took us and we got to see the field. Heinz Field's legendary. It's historic, so it's gonna mean a ton.
Anything final?
How do you plan to approach your role in this offense, whether it's rush heavy like it was last year or pass heavy for this year?
Can you repeat that, please?
Oh, sorry. How do you plan to approach your role in this offense, whether it's rush heavy like it was last year or switch it up and pass first offense?
I think Coach Cignetti likes it to be balanced. You gotta marry the run game with the pass game, so the defense is seeing the same looks and you just work off of that. But I think it needs to be balanced, and there has to be a strong pass game and a run game.
Do you have to move around the pocket?
A little bit.
Make plays with your feet?
Yep. Yeah.
Turn
Yeah.
it around. Kenny was good at that. Is that something you continue doing?
Yeah.
Phil, is your opinion of where Pitt is at different than it was when you were deciding where to go to school?
It's hard to say. I think that the ACC win a couple years ago was huge for the program, just taking a step. But yeah, I'm not sure. It was so long ago. I committed my sophomore year of high school, so yeah, it's tough to say. I love where it's at right now, and I want it to grow stronger. That's why I want the WPIAL guys, anybody who wants to come to Pitt, come here. Come make it into a consistent winning program.
Phil, how frustrating have the last 2 years been for you with some of the injuries that have popped up, some things you can't control, maybe shortening your season, not giving you that continuity that you want throughout an entire season?
Yeah, it's been frustrating. I love to win. It's good winning, so I've really never lost that much in football. So the past few years it's been tough just dealing with that, but I think it's made me stronger because I have.
All good. Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. Thank you.